Hi guys, welcome to this short video about the question if a phone or other device can detect if a SIM card was removed and reinserted while the device was turned off. The question is then, of course, maybe why is this interesting? I'm currently testing this surveillance camera. Here some details. It's even quite expensive one. It's a 4G surveillance camera, a very interesting device which you could pretty much place anywhere and then check the footage, because with the solar panel it's power independent, and with the 4G SIM card support it should have pretty much everywhere wireless reception. So could be perfect for working site or some other place, for example if you're a farmer. But the problem is that I had huge problems with the 4G reception even outside, and even though the SIM card provider was saying that they're using T-Mobile and T-Mobile coverage should be great here in this area, I had only 2 or 3 bars out of 5. And so with the support of the SIM card provider, we were doing a couple of changes. We tried to switch to different roaming providers, first from T-Mobile to AT&T and then to Verizon and then back. And after every change, they advised me to turn off the surveillance camera, remove the SIM card, reinsert the SIM card and turn the camera on again. This is also what the seller of the camera was suggesting. But I was asking then, is this really needed that I remove and reinsert the SIM card? Because I think when the device is turned off, no matter if it's a camera or if it's your mobile phone, when it's turned off and you remove the SIM card and then insert it again and only after that start the phone or the camera again, my thinking is that the device won't realize that it was removed in the meantime. And then because I had a little bit of dispute with the lady, I mean not a serious thing, just a question if it's needed or not. So I googled for that, and of course this is something which is a little bit difficult to Google because it's a whole sentence. You need to explain the whole situation, and so I switched to ChatGPT. And the discussion turned out pretty interesting, so I wanted to show you that here. It's not only interesting regarding the SIM card, it's also very interesting regarding ChatGPT or how to use ChatGPT. So my question was then, when I turn off a phone and remove a SIM card and reinsert it again, and only after that turn on again, will the phone be able to realize that the SIM card was removed? And the answer was yes. Typically when you remove SIM card from the phone while it's powered off and then reinsert it before turning the phone back on, the phone should recognize that the SIM card was removed and reinsert once it's powered on again. But it also said when you reinsert the SIM card before powering on the phone again, the phone will detect it's present and proceed to establish communication with the network as usual. That sounds more like it wouldn't detect the change. But here it says it will detect the change, but I still was not really happy with the result, so I asked again. I clearly mentioned again that I'm not talking about reinserting after power on, but before power on again. And so it said, apologies for the misunderstanding. When you remove and reinsert a SIM card while the phone is powered off, the phone won't immediately recognize the change in SIM card status. This is also what I think. This is because the phone isn't actively checking for the presence of the SIM card while it's turned off. Okay, makes totally sense and matches pretty much to my understanding. But then in the next sentence it said when you power on the phone again after reinserting SIM card, the phone will then detect the presence of the SIM card during its startup process. It will recognize that the SIM card has been reinserted and proceed accordingly, establishing communication with the network. In summary, if you remove and reinsert the SIM card while the phone is powered off, the phone won't realize the SIM card was removed until you power it back on again. Once powered on, it will detect the reinserted SIM card. And so I was still not very happy with it. I wanted to have clarification, actually just a yes or no. And so I said, okay, let's try again. Will the phone be able to detect if the SIM card was removed and reinserted while the phone was powered off? Yes or no? Just yes or no, nothing else, thanks. And then ChatGPT said yes, okay, that it's possible that the phone will realize that it was removed and reinserted while the phone was powered off. It clearly said yes. I mean, it could be possible, for example, if the device like camera or phone remains some basic power inside, which it does, of course, usually because it's maintaining power for the internal clock, at least that's for surveillance cameras, dash cams, mobile phones, and so on and so on. Or at least this is my understanding, that there is some basic power always provided to the internal clock. So why not also providing power to a mechanism which is checking if the SIM card was removed or not? That's possible, okay. I thought, yeah, maybe it's possible, but I wanted then to know how this is done. So I said, okay, what, are you serious? And how can the phone do that? And then now the super interesting thing came back in the next answer. ChatGPT said, apologize for any confusion, let me clarify. No, the phone will not be able to detect the SIM card was removed and reinserted while the phone was powered off. This is almost unbelievable. So at least the last response from ChatGPT was matching my expectation, but that doesn't mean that we are right or that I am right. But it's very interesting that I have been able to turn around the answer from ChatGPT by 180 degrees from yes to no by asking, yeah, if you say yes, then tell me how it's done. And then it said immediately, oh no, it's not possible. Yeah, that's quite funny, isn't it? That's not something which you would expect from ChatGPT. ChatGPT is usually very stubborn. Usually you can talk to ChatGPT, try to convince ChatGPT to have some other stance. I've tried this before over and over again and it never worked. And here in a sudden it worked for the first time. So back to the original question, if it's possible for the device to detect if the SIM card was removed and reinserted while the device was off. How is it for camera? How is it for phone? How is it for other devices? I still don't know for sure. The question, of course, also, why are sellers suggesting to do so? Even after doing a lot of research now, I'm still confused. So by the way, here's the camera and it's still offline. But I think the problem was that they switched me from T-Mobile to AT&T and there I don't have any power. They said, okay, they can switch me back to T-Mobile. But because I don't have any reception now on the SIM card, I think the change can't reach the SIM card. So there's no way to change it back now to T-Mobile again. And so I think also the support realized that we are in trouble now and they did something which they shouldn't have done. And so they agreed on sending me a new SIM card, which is by default covering all the carriers, also T-Mobile, and so we should have reception again after that. What I remember that after the change we did yesterday, like moving from T-Mobile to AT&T, and they suggested to turn off the device, remove the SIM card, reinsert it, and then turn on the camera again, which I did not. I just rebooted the device and it looks like it had some effect. Otherwise, I wouldn't be offline now. So I think the removal and the reinserting is not needed. So if you're in the same situation, you just need to make the SIM card to have the effect of changing something, and maybe support is suggesting to remove and reinsert. I think it's not needed. But of course, I cannot guarantee. This is just my assumption, but of course would be very interesting to hear from you. What do you think? What's your experience if you have been in the same situation? please let us know and write everything down into the feedback area. I'm always happy to talk about these things, and if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.